Okay, afternoon, everyone. Jose hates us because he always gives us the 3 o'clock slot, 3 o'clock slot in the afternoon, which everybody knows is probably the toughest one. Maybe the second toughest slot of the conference. So, thanks everyone for joining. My name is Daniel Vacanti. This is Prateek Singh. We have, as always, Nisha with us in spirit, at least. For those of you who don't know Nisha, she is the brains of the operation here. One thing I know everybody says this in their session, but we really mean it. The feedback things that you see here, don't bother with those. We'll handle that for you. It's really no problem at all. The way that I always do my talks, I should say our talks, but they're really my talks, right? The way that I normally do our talks is I introduce stuff. And then I make Prateek do all the work. So, Prateek.
Yeah, let's do this. Actually, I'll make you all do all the work. What I'm going to need you all to do is on your phones, I want you to search for Wordle. Anyone play Wordle here? Anyone play? Yeah, we got a few. Anyone played it today? Did anyone play it today? If you played it today, you don't need to play it and don't need to give away the answers. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to Google Wordle, and I'm assuming not everyone is familiar with the rules of Wordle. I'm assuming not. Okay, so I see Maria shaking her head, so I have to explain it. Once you click on this link from New York Times, it will show you something that looks like this. And I'm just going to quickly cover how to play. The objective of Wordle is simple. There is a 5-letter word that you're trying to guess. That's all it is. You get 6 tries to guess what this 5-letter word is. And every day the word changes. Every day the word changes. There could be repeated letters, but it is a valid English word that you're trying to guess. What Wordle would do for you is, as you guess, you've got 6 chances. As you guess, it'll give you colors of green, gray, or yellow. Gray means this letter does not exist in this word. Yellow means this letter exists in this word, but it's not in the position that you guessed it. And green means it exists and it is in the position that you guessed it to be in. And based on that information, you make another guess, but you have 6 guesses to get the answer. Questions about Wordle? Clear as mud? The gray one is that this letter does not exist in the word. This letter it's not in the word, it's been eliminated from your choices. Clear as mud? Yeah. Lovely. So this is what we're going to do. Once you click on how to play or play, it will give you the grid, and the way this goes is you say, I'm not going to guess, but let's say, give me a 5-letter word.
Oh, I don't think you do want me to give you a 5-letter word.
I didn't say 4, I said 5. So let's say 7. So I'll guess 7, I'll hit enter, and then it will tell me things about those green, gray, yellow things. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to ask you all, you can pair up if you want. You can play together or play by yourself. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to give you all of 5 minutes to guess this. Everyone ready? Yes. Whoever guesses this is first, Dan's got a gift for you. All right, folks. How did we do? Succeeded? Most of you? Yeah. The hint for today was Prateek is dash then Dan. Right, that was the hint for today. So for who did not get it? Had a few, yeah. Does anyone want to help out the folks that did not get it? What's the Nicer, yeah, nicer was the answer today. Just that fits, right? Who got it in 6 turns? We had about, I see about 5 or 6 hands. 5 turns. About same 4. A lot more. 3. Okay. 2. I got a couple in 2. 1. Nobody got it in 1.
Nobody knew that you were nicer.
Nobody got it in 1. Why? I don't understand. Why did you not get it in 1? So, everyone has excuses now, huh? Everyone has excuses you didn't get it in 1. How could you not know? It's a limited field, five letters, limited field. You've got, it's the English language. I mean, we are in England. How come you didn't get it in 1? Probability is too low. Let me let me ask a different question. Which was the first word you tried? Anyone? I mean, not everyone. Sorry, water? Is that, yeah? Water? Any other first word? Sorry? Shall? Graft? Agile? Acute. Interesting. Almost every word that I heard had an A in it. Most had at least 2 vowels in it. Sorry? Night. Yeah. Why these particular words where you have a couple of vowels, and why did you go with the word you went with?
Get higher chances the first round.
Highest chances, sorry? It was closest to your name, yeah.
I wouldn't have picked yours because you used the same letter twice, and then I'm not discovering as much.
Yeah, I used 7, which would give you 2 E's, and instead you could probably eliminate more words by using something else.
Like letters that I know to be more popular in English language.
Yeah, there's
That improves chances of hitting anything.
right. Instead of missing, even if you miss everything, you go,
it tells
oh,
you something.
it tells you a lot. It gives you a lot of information. My guess is, and if you play Wordle on a daily basis as I do, your first guess is going to start to become one of these words which give you a lot of information. You probably won't get it right the first time. This was my score from today. It gives you a skill score and a luck score. It's kind of interesting. Why skill and luck? And for each of these, my starting word is slate. You know, as Powell said, TSLAE, some of the most common letters for most words, and it will tell me every time what's the skill level of the word I use and the luck factor. Do you want to take this to product?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Do some work.
I was really enjoying sitting down doing nothing. We're not, so in this session, we're not really going to give you, honestly, too many answers. The point of this session is probably one of the hottest words in Agile right now is product. Right? You look at the schedule for this conference. How many talks had the word product in them? When we think about traditionally the role of product manager, the role of product owner, just the role of just general product development, think about some of the things that we are asked to do. If you're a product manager, if you're a product owner, let me ask you, what are some of the things you're asked to do as a product manager? What are some of the things you're asked to do?
You manage a product.
You manage a product. Ask a stupid question, right? Value for money, okay. What else? Write JIRA tickets, I love it. I think most people probably think, if you're a product owner, that's your job, is write JIRA tickets. When will it be done? Yeah, for sure.
So that actually depends on what you are asking for, because whether you are asking what product managers should be doing or what they are actually doing, because these tend to be two different sets of things.
And I actually want to explore both of those things. So the comment was, what should product managers really be doing versus what are they actually doing? In either case, let's take a perfect world. What they should be doing.
Study market rhythms.
Study market rhythms. Okay, great. Sorry? Know the customer. Yeah. Connect with the customer. And then what? We take that information and then we do what?
We try to figure out what's valuable.
And we try to figure out what's valuable. Perfect. When do you try to make that determination of what's valuable? Every day. As frequently as possible. When you've defined what you think is valuable.
When they're used, when your product is used, the customer will use it.
Yeah,
When the meeting is done.
I guess, let me ask it a different way. When in the product life cycle are you making these determinations when something is valuable?
After people pay for it.
After people pay for it, but we have to deliver something. So how do we choose what stuff to work on then? If we don't, discovery. If we don't know, so this is the point we're getting to. If we don't know what's truly valuable until after we've delivered it, how do we know what stuff we're supposed to work on? How do we know that?
We design experiments through which we learn, as in Wordle. That give us new knowledge that we can reuse.
So when we're making that determination, so in the product lifecycle, when we're making that determination of what stuff we should be working on, when in that product lifecycle are we actually deciding when or what we should work on? There's actually a specific answer I'm looking for, but I'm not asking the question right. When we know the least about value is what I was going for. When we know the absolute least about value. You're a product manager. You're supposed to be connecting with your customer. You're supposed to be deciding what's valuable. I'm supposed to create a backlog. So create a backlog of things that are valuable. And from that backlog of things that are valuable, I'm supposed to order those things, probably based on value. You don't necessarily have to order them based on value, but you're probably basing them on value. And you're basing that order on what? Maybe you've talked to your customers, maybe it's gut feel or whatever, but it's when you have maximum uncertainty. It's when you've got 5 blank letters here. So when you have 5 blank letters here and you've only got 5 minutes to get it done, what's your best strategy? Guess. But guess. Fastly. Sorry, was Margot saying? Oh, sorry, yeah. Guess quickly. The idea is, because all of this is true, we are trying to make these determinations of what to work on and when to work on them at a point in the product lifecycle when we know the absolute least. In fact, I would argue we know pretty much nothing. We think we know stuff. If anybody's interested in knowing, what we know and when we know it, what's shameless plug? Should we do the shameless plug?
Let's do it.
Yeah, there's a Procom once come out with a new class called accelerating product value. And there's an interesting case study in there when companies think they know stuff and they don't know stuff. But we'll get back to that maybe in just a second. So we're trying to make these decisions when we know the absolute least, right? So we're trying to make decisions with maximum uncertainty. It's worse than that. This is something else that people really don't consider, and this is one of the reasons why I talked Prateek into doing Wordle for this session. Not only is there maximum uncertainty, but do we have unlimited time? Do we have unlimited money? Do we have unlimited people? I mean, we've got basically an infinite number of possibilities of things we can work on, right? Can we spend as much money as we want? Can we get as many people as we want? Do we have as much time as we want? No, we're constrained. We're constrained by those economic resources as well. So we've got a combination. We've got a double whammy here. We're trying to make a decision when we've got the least amount of information, but we've also got the maximum amount of constraints in terms of time, money, and people. So what's the best strategy? When you're faced with those two really big constraints, what's the best strategy? And this is pretty much all of you, I think, pretty much just discovered that in this session. Guess quickly. Right? Just guess. You got to guess. Just make a guess. Spend as least time. Imagine if you had spent, we gave you 5 minutes, and imagine if you spent 4 minutes and 59 seconds let's get everybody in a room, and let's talk about this, and let's try and decide what we're going to do, right? No. That timer's going to run out. You're going to run out of time. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out. We're going to run out of whatever. So, good.
I would make one comment to that though. Guess quickly, but not as fast as you can, because it still pays off to think what is the best guess. We're not trying to type in 5-letter words one after the other without much thinking. We'll still spend just a little bit of time on figuring out what a good experiment for that was.
Right. Yep. And that's, like I said before, this session is really not about giving any answers. What we really want you to do is we want you to think, right? Think about all this product development advice that's out there. If you're a product manager, if you're a product owner, think about all the things that you're being told to do. How much of them talk about this idea of you're trying to make these decisions when you have maximum uncertainty? You're trying to make these decisions under extreme conditions of scarcity. How many of these things talk about that? Your product development is exactly like Wordle, right? And so what we really want you to do is think about, when you were playing Wordle, what was the strategy that worked for you? That's probably the right strategy for you when you're going out in product development. We've got less than 10 minutes left. I really kind of wanted to turn this more into a discussion. Like, we really just wanted to pose that. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Oh, the only thing I would add is, even if you had 6 really good guesses, what's the absolute worst thing you can do if you thought of 6 really good guesses?
Get 3 or 4. Which are great. Play them all without looking at the previous results.
Yeah, and I'm not picking on any framework. You order them ahead of time, and you just go through them blindly, regardless of feedback. So all of you who are ordering your product backlogs, Wordle it. I didn't. I said I won't, but but yeah, please. Any questions?
There's one perspective I want to bring. So here in this game, you receive the feedback immediately. But in real life, it's not that easy. Although you deploy something, there's always you're in this zone of uncertainty, even if you release something. So what's your take on that? How from that point onwards?
Release early.
The one central problem we have had in product development is we believe feedback is collected on things like this. Feedback is actually collected by instrumenting your code to see how customers are behaving. There is a great bar in Berlin. Have you come to a drunk Agile? There's a great, and Julie was there with me. There's a great bar in Berlin where they see how much people are consuming the beer and change the price of the beer immediately. They don't go around doing NPS surveys with their consumers to go, hey, which beer should I price higher? They actually observe it, and that's, the shorter we can make that feedback loop by actually observing customer behavior and then reacting to it, that'll be our benefit. We all talk about AI. That's what AI does. Watches what's going on, how and reacts to it. The faster, the smaller we can make that loop, the better for us. Yeah.
They put the price of beer up because people like it.
They literally have scoreboards.
Do they lock the door to stop people leaving it where it's cheap?
Yep. They literally change the price of beer based on when people have ordered it, and they lower it when people haven't ordered it. So when they order it, they raise it. It's pure supply and demand by observing what the customer is doing.
Isn't it stuff they brew themselves, though? No. Uh-huh. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things about Wordle is that you're also trying to eliminate words or things you don't want there, right? So you're trying to not just find what works in the solution space, but eliminate the bad possibilities. And so that's very counterintuitive to product development, but that's kind of, you see it in Wordle.
Yeah, exactly.
Design set based.
Yeah. I mean, how many, For those of you who do forecasting, because we don't have enough time for this because this is a bit soapbox for me. But for those of you who do forecasting, and you wonder, because somebody said, hey, one of the things you got to do as a product manager is answer, when will it be done? And there are some forecasting techniques out there that want to take into account things like split rate. They're like, hey, we think our thing is this big, but we know it's going to split into these, 5 other things. To Matt's point, that's completely, I would say that's completely counter to what you should be doing. That split rate is all about discovering the stuff that you shouldn't do. If I've got one thing that's really going to split into 5, that doesn't mean I need to do all 5. That probably means that this thing is too big, I'm trying to work on too many things. Of those 5 things that I discovered, maybe 1 or 2 are important. The rest should be gone, right? So yeah, it really is more about discovering the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. I'd love to solve world hunger. I'd love to solve the climate problem. But I'm not going to do that. But there's probably a small problem that I can solve. Right? Is this how all of you do product development right now? Product managers, product owners right there. I mean, do you talk about the uncertainty that you're encountering when you're making decisions? Do you talk about the scarcity that you're encountering when you're making decisions? Or do you just believe there's some giant piggy bank in the sky that it doesn't matter because, my project's funded, so I can just spend whatever I want? Please go ahead.
We saw a strategy that involved making 3 guesses up front because that gives you the most information, and then the 4th one is the first intentional guess. It's a sort of value to epistemic action that helps you understand the environment, even if it doesn't directly solve the problem.
Yeah. And this is great. The problem is Prateek actually really was too nice. Because with Wordle, what are some things that really help us out with Wordle? What are some things that allowed you to get, for those of you who got it done in 5 minutes? What are some things that you knew? It was going to be a word. It was going to be a valid word. We knew that.
English, 5 letters.
It was going to be English. It was going to be 5 letters.
We knew something about the English language.
Yeah, they probably took out all the bad words, whatever bad words there were in there. We know all this stuff. When we're talking about product development, we don't even have those clues, right? I think I looked it up. Your chances of guessing right on the first, and did anybody look it up? On the first guess of Wordle, what are your chances of being right? Did anybody look this up?
12,500 words.
Yep, it's about 1 in 12,500. That's about your chance of of being right. In regular product development, what do you think your chances of being right on the first guess? Yeah, much lower. So it's all about changing those percentages to become more in our favor. Ahmad, did you put the 2-minute thing up yet?
Yeah, we like to put it this way always. It's the whole point of Agile is to find out how wrong you are as quickly as possible. Make the assumption you're going to be wrong because you're not going to be right on that first guess. But now let's figure out how wrong we are as quickly as possible by spending as little money as possible.
So I think we have time for what? We maybe have time for one more quick question, or a quick comment, or a quick thought.
I have a quick reflection that Agile, which is a borrowed English language from French, is very well used because it suits for the discovery. So the chances that the word of the day will be Agile is very low. The value of validating that it's not is super high.
Yeah.
So start with what will probably not be, but you get a lot more information than trying to guess what will be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, your homework, for those of you who want it, is to start reading up on information theory.
Yeah.
Next time we'll talk about Shannon entropy. That's going to be fun.
The biggest, we'll leave you with the Andy Du quote, right? The biggest risk is thinking you have a winning strategy when you have a losing one. For me, that sums up product development perfectly. So thanks everyone for coming. Remember, when you're doing product development, play Wordle. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. Thank you.